When you open or refresh a web page, a lot more information is shared about your behavior and yourself and your device than you might realize, and much more than what you see on the page. The idea of this lesson will be to show you one of the ways in which you can see this information for yourself. This will be a very high level tutorial, and you don't have to have a technical or coding background in order to see this information. You just have to know where to look. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to open what's called a software developer tab. And there's a couple of ways in which you can do this. The first way and easiest way is to press F12, and it will open a tab like this on the right. And this is what we call a software developer console, or software developer tab, or the software console. And what this is a tab that shows and shares all the information that's being collected and communication that's happened between your device and the web page which you're looking at. And it's made up of lots of different components. So you have elements, console, sources, network, performance, memory, application, security, and there's more if you click on the arrow saying Lighthouse, Recorder, Performance Insights. We're only going to be looking at a few tabs today, and like I said, it's only going to be a very high level view at them as well. But hopefully by the end of this tutorial you'll have a bit more of a deeper understanding of the sort of information that's collected from the about you and from you and what you're using to browse the web page, and where to look to get that information. If you would like to know a lot more about the software developer tab, I'm very happy to do a sort of deeper video on it. It'd probably be a series, and please do let me know in the comments below, or please do contact me, email me, or however you want to get in touch. Then let me know that this is what you want, and if a lot of you respond to saying this is what you want, then I'll do it and we'll listen to you on that. I do think this is very important to know as well and understand. I just want to pause right there just to say that please do subscribe to my channel and do follow me on Twitch, on YouTube as well, and take a look out for me on TikTok and other channels in the future. And take a break, because I've spoken a lot now for a couple of minutes and I want you to just have everything sink in. I know I keep the video short so that I don't give you too much information, but even that can be a lot of information within the sort of 10 or 15 minute episodes that I shoot my videos on. So let's get started on a couple of things. So here we're on Google. This is one of the ways which you can access it. If you press F12 again, you'll get rid of it. Another way to access it is if you right click on an element on the page and you press inspect. You see here you have you go straight towards to what we call is the HTML on the page, and the HTML is what loads the components and onto the page and gives the page its components and makes the page the page. And if you want to make the page look good, you add CSS. You don't necessarily have to though. HTML can make a page look good as well. And if you want to make it functional, you add JavaScript. And maybe in the background you have a framework that everything sort of connects together on, and maybe that's Python. By the way, I've done another series of how to create your own sort of web application. So please do check that out if you are interested in how to build your own website. So going back to this, so what we have here is we right clicked on the image of Google, pressed inspect, and we have the HTML of the page. So that's two ways in which you can access the software developer console, by pressing F12 and by right clicking on inspect on the Google image. So let's go into google.com. And notice here that we just have a blank page. We just see, well, it's not entirely blank, it has the image of Google on it. It has a search box, and it has some various buttons and links to other areas of Google to learn more about maybe your account if you've logged in, or about google.com, or about its privacy terms and some other settings. So this is all you see on the page, but a lot more information is being shared in the background, and let's get access to that information. So if you right click on Google image, we will see here that we have the HTML relating to that Google image. And what we can also do is, if you go to the top here, I said I'll talk you through a couple of tabs. This Elements tab displays the HTML, but we can also go to another tab called Network. And see here we have two lines here at the moment, and this line will grow because what's happening is, as you can see there, just doubled. And what's happening is the device that's you accessing the Google web page is in constant communication, and they're both in constant communication with each other. So here we have a ping, and we can click on this ping, and we can see all this information here that is being shared or communicated to Google or from Google about your communication, your behavior. So we have request URL, we have the request method, status code 204, remote address, and by the way I'm using VPN, so don't bother with that. We've got referrer policy, and then we've got other things as well. So down here we have a cookie, and a cookie is a way of storing information on your browser that enables things like Google to keep you logged in, so you don't have to keep logging in every time you leave the web page and come back. It also stores other information like session ID and other forms of IDs and potentially tracking and tagging that can be used to analyze your behavior. And we can go to the one below, and we can see the other information that's being stored. We have here X client data, which is another parameter, sec fetch dest, and all these other parameters here that you don't necessarily have to learn and know what they are, but you just have to sort of be aware that this is information that's being communicated and shared with Google. User agent is also an interesting one. User agent is what it is extra information about your device that you're using to access Google. And one thing I want to sort of do is I want to go to a couple of web pages with you, and I want you to see this fill up. Notice it's just automatically filling up as they're just communicating with each other. But if we go to sort of a completely different website, I was going to do a Google search there, but actually if you go to a completely different website, it'll be more dramatic. You see here, all this is filling up. Do you see that? All of that. And that is all information that's being shared or communicated between us and now Amazon. If things in red didn't work, maybe it's blocked by your antivirus software, maybe it's blocked by your ad blockers if you've got any, or your browser blockers or things like that. But yeah, this is all in the network tab, and you see here at the top is all how long everything took in milliseconds to sort of load up. Let's have a look at a different tab. Let's have a look at console. So what this is more like a sort of user interface, and this, it's a JavaScript that makes web pages functional, and this console utilizes JavaScript. So if you know JavaScript, you can run some functions like document.domain, and you'll get the domain name. So here on amazon.co.uk, if we go back to Google and type in document.domain, again you'll get Google, and this represents the domain name of the website you're looking at. You can type in other things as well, and it's just a way in which you can see if there's any extra information and what information is being shared. Pen testers and hackers and bug hunters will use things like this to try and see if they have access or are able to access information that they shouldn't be seeing. So they sort of try and reverse engineer things in order to spot these errors, and ideally and potentially sort of make use of them in good and bad ways. So that's just a very sort of high level view of sort of the software developer tab. I know I didn't go through much, but I just wanted to make you aware of a way in which you can see extra information that's being shared about you and what your activity and your behavior that's not being visibly shared with you. It's all in the back end. And I just want to let you know that this information, this is all about your behavior and your activities, and it's all stored. For example, if I go to Google, it's all stored on the Google server. But when we went to Amazon, it's all stored on the Amazon server. So your behavior there is split apart. Where things get a bit more dangerous is if there's this world of data brokers where Amazon can buy information about you from Google, and then they know a lot more about you, or other websites as well. So just be careful of, or just be aware of what information you are that's being shared about you, and this is one of those ways in which you can be aware of that. You can buy things like ad blockers, cookie blockers, even things like some antivirus will stop the really bad stuff. And that will help you become a bit more anonymous. You can use VPNs. VPNs, I think, is probably the easiest way to stay the most anonymous. And then these softwares, technologies, will still collect information about you, but it won't be about you. It'll be, for example, if you use a VPN, and they try and get your location, it will be the location of where your VPN is. So the information they have about you will be mixed. They may know your device type, but they won't know where you are, and so therefore you have this mix of information about you that's not quite right. It's a bit fuzzy. But yeah, just to give you a high level view on software developer tab, a way of getting extra information about what's happening between you and the web page that you're looking at. If you want to know, if we wanted other tools, you could. There are scripts. There's pen testing tools for those of you who are more technically minded. There's also softwares you can download and other stuff you can use. It doesn't have to be software developer tab. But that's a very quick summary. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and watch to the end. You have done if you're hearing me now. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching.